The discovery. In the vast expanse of the Kuiper Belt, beyond the orbit of Neptune, an unassuming space rock held a secret that would change the course of human history. Dr. Samira Khan, lead astronomer at the Deep Space Observation Station on Pluto's moon Charon, was the first to notice the anomaly. "There's something odd about asteroid KX 847, she muttered, squinting at the holographic display. Her colleague, Dr. Chen Wei, floated over in the low gravity of the research station. "What kind of odd?" he asked, peering at the readouts. Samara pointed to a fluctuating energy signature. "It's emitting regular pulses of radiation, too regular to be natural." The discovery set off a flurry of activity across the solar system. Within weeks, a joint mission from Earth's United Space Agency was dispatched to investigate. The crew of the research vessel Galileo approached the asteroid with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Captain Zoe Martinez guided the ship into a careful orbit around KX 847. "All right, team, let's see what we're dealing with here," she announced over the comms. As they scanned the asteroid's surface, they detected a hollow area deep within its core. Using precision drilling equipment, they carefully bored into the rock. What they found inside defied all expectations. A sleek, metallic object roughly the size of a bus sat in a carved-out chamber. Its surface was etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. Dr. Aidan O'Neill, the mission's xenoarchaeologist, was the first to enter the chamber in a protective suit. It's incredible," he breathed, running a scanner over the object. "The material isn't like anything in our periodic table. And these markings, they're not just decorative. I think there's some kind of language or code." Over the next few months, scientists from around the world worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the alien artifact. They discovered that it was a kind of library or database containing vast amounts of information about the galaxy and its inhabitants. But the most astonishing revelation came when they deciphered the schematics for a faster-than-light drive. The news sent shockwaves through human society. Governments argued over who should control the technology. Corporations sought to profit from it. Religious leaders debated its implications for humanity's place in the universe. But in the end, the sheer magnitude of the discovery forced unprecedented global cooperation. Construction began on humanity's first FTL-capable ship, the Endeavour. As the massive vessel took shape in Earth orbit, tensions on the ground continued to simmer. Not everyone was convinced that venturing into deep space was wise. "We don't know what's out there," warned Admiral Helena Vasquez during a UN Security Council meeting. "We could be walking into a threat we're not prepared for." Others, like Dr. Khan, argued passionately for exploration. "This is our chance to join a wider galactic community," she insisted. "We can't let fear hold us back." As the Endeavour neared completion, a carefully selected crew began their training. Captain Aisha Okafor, a veteran of Mars missions, was chosen to lead the expedition. Her second-in-command, Commander Dmitry Volkov, brought years of experience in deep space operations. The science team was led by Dr. Yuki Tanaka, an expert in xenobiology and first contact protocols. Rounding out the senior staff were Chief Engineer Raj Patel and Security Chief Maria Santos. On the day of launch, billions around the world watched as the Endeavour prepared to make its first jump. In mission control, tension was palpable as final checks were completed. Captain Okafor's voice crackled over the comms. "Endeavour to mission control. All systems a go. We are ready to initiate the FTL drive." There was a moment of breathless silence, then a brilliant flash of light engulfed the ship. In an instant, it vanished from Earth's orbit. Seconds later, cheers erupted in mission control as telemetry confirmed the Endeavour had successfully emerged in the Alpha Centauri system. Humanity had taken its first step into the wider galaxy. But as the initial euphoria faded, a sobering reality set in. The artifact that had given them this technology was clearly not of natural origin. Somewhere out there, an advanced alien civilization existed, And now humanity was venturing into their domain. As the Endeavour began its survey of Alpha Centauri, the crew couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. They had unlocked the door to the stars, but what would they find on the other side? The answer would come all too soon, and it would change everything they thought they knew about their place in the universe. First contact gone wrong. The Endeavour had been exploring the Alpha Centauri system for 3 weeks when they detected the first sign of alien life. A faint signal, unlike anything in their databases, emanated from a small moon orbiting the system's gas giant. "It's definitely artificial," Dr. Tanaka confirmed, her eyes wide with excitement as she studied the readouts. "We're not alone out here." Captain Okafor called the senior staff to the bridge. "This is what we came for," she said, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "Let's make humanity proud." As the Endeavour approached the moon, tension mounted. They detected structures on the surface, angular buildings that gleamed under the light of the distant sun. And then, rising from behind the moon's curve, they saw it, a ship, sleek and impossibly large. "My God," whispered Commander Volkov, "it's beautiful." The alien vessel dwarfed the Endeavour, its hull shimmering with an iridescent sheen. For a moment, both ships hung in space, sizing each other up. "Open a channel," Okafor ordered. "Let's say hello." Dr. Tanaka began broadcasting the carefully crafted first contact message they had prepared, a combination of mathematical sequences and simple pictographs designed to convey peaceful intentions. At first, there was no response. Then, without warning, a beam of energy lanced out from the alien ship, striking the Endeavour's hull. Alarms blared as the ship shuddered. "Shields at 60%, shouted Lieutenant Commander Santos. "That was no accident, Captain. They're charging weapons again." Captain Okafor's training kicked in. Evasive maneuvers. Charge our own weapons, but hold fire. We don't want to escalate this if we can avoid it. The Endeavour rolled and dove, narrowly avoiding another blast. Chief Engineer Potel's voice came over the comms, strained but determined. "Captain, I think I can boost our shield strength, but I need time." "Do it," Okafor ordered. She turned to Tanaka. "Keep broadcasting. Make it clear we're not here to fight." But the alien ship showed no signs of stopping its assault. It pursued the Endeavour relentlessly, each blast coming closer to breaching their defenses. "We can't keep this up forever," Volkov warned. "We need to make a decision." Okafor's jaw clenched. This was not how first contact was supposed to go. Everything they had hoped for, all the dreams of peaceful exchange of knowledge, were crumbling before her eyes. "Helm, plot a course back to the jump point," she ordered. "We're getting out of here." As the Endeavour turned to flee, the alien ship launched a swarm of smaller craft. They buzzed around the human vessel like angry hornets, peppering it with smaller energy blasts. "Shields failing," Santos called out. "Hull breach on Deck 3. Patel's voice crackled over the comms again. "Captain, I've got an idea. It's risky, but it might buy us the time we need to escape." "Do it," Okafor commanded without hesitation. Patel rerouted power from non-essential systems, overcharging the Endeavour's shields. For a moment, the ship glowed brightly, then released a massive electromagnetic pulse. The alien fighters surrounding them suddenly went dark, drifting harmlessly in space. Even the massive capital ship seemed to falter, its weapons falling silent. "Now's our chance," Okafor said. "Maximum speed to the jump point." The Endeavour's engines roared to life, pushing the battered ship towards safety. Behind them, the alien vessel was already beginning to recover, but it was too late. In a flash of light, the Endeavour vanished, leaving Alpha Centauri behind. As they emerged back in Earth's solar system, the crew of the Endeavour was shell-shocked. Their mission of peaceful exploration had turned into a nightmare. "Why?" Dr. Tanaka asked, her voice hollow. "Why would they attack us without provocation?" No one had an answer. The news of the disastrous first contact spread quickly on Earth. Fear and anger gripped the population. Some called for immediate military buildup, others for isolation and abandonment of the FTL program. In an emergency session of the UN, Admiral Vasquez addressed the assembly. "We were unprepared," she said grimly, "but we cannot hide. This alien force knows we exist now. We must assume they will come for us, and we must be ready." As governments around the world mobilized for war, Captain Okafor and her crew were debriefed extensively. Every second of their encounter was analyzed, searching for clues about their mysterious attackers. It was Dr. Tanaka who made the crucial breakthrough. Reviewing the sensor logs, she noticed something odd about the alien ship's energy readings just before they attacked. "Look here," she pointed out to the assembled officials. "There's a spike in some kind of quantum field just before they fire. I think they might have been scanning us." "Scanning for what?" someone asked. Tanaka's eyes widened as the realization hit her. The FTL drive. They were checking if we had FTL technology. The implications were staggering. If Tanaka was right, it meant the aliens hadn't attacked out of simple xenophobia or aggression. They had attacked because humanity had faster-than-light capability. As the world prepared for war, a grim reality set in. Humanity had stepped onto a galactic stage it didn't understand, armed with technology it had only just discovered, and somewhere out there, a powerful alien force saw them as a threat to be eliminated. The question now was, how would humanity respond? As governments debated strategy and shipyards began constructing a defense fleet, the crew of the Endeavour knew one thing for certain: the galaxy was a far more dangerous place than they had ever imagined, and humanity's fight for survival had only just begun. The resistance begins. In the months following the Alpha Centauri incident, Earth transformed into a planet on war footing. The United Space Defense Force, USDF, was established, combining the best minds and resources from around the globe. Shipyards in orbit worked around the clock, churning out vessels equipped with reverse-engineered alien technology. Captain Aisha Okafor, now promoted to admiral, found herself at the forefront of humanity's preparations. Her experiences had made her a symbol of both the wonder and danger that awaited in the stars. "We can't just wait for them to come to us," Okafor argued in a strategy meeting. "We need to take the fight to them, gather intelligence, find allies if they exist." Her words carried weight, and soon a plan was set in motion. A small fleet of stealth ships, led by the newly christened USDF, Defiant under Okafor's command, would venture back into alien space. Their mission: reconnaissance, and if possible, to make contact with any species that might be willing to aid humanity. As the Defiant and its sister ships prepared to depart, an unexpected message arrived from Mars Colony. Dr. Samira Khan, the astronomer who had first discovered the alien artifact, had made a startling breakthrough. The artifact wasn't just a database, she explained via hologram to the assembled USDF leadership. "It's a key. There are more out there, scattered across the galaxy. If we can find them, we might be able to unlock even more advanced technology." This revelation added a new dimension to the mission. Now, along with seeking allies and gathering intel on their attackers, Okafor's fleet would search for these mysterious keys. The day of launch arrived, tension thick in the air as the small fleet prepared to jump. Admiral Okafor addressed her crew one last time before departure. "We carry the hopes of humanity with us," she said, her voice steady and determined. "Whatever we face out there, we face it together, for Earth." The fleet vanished in a flash of light, leaving behind a solar system holding its breath. Their first stop was a binary star system 50 light-years from Earth. Initial scans showed no signs of advanced civilization, but as they approached the third planet, they detected faint energy readings from the surface. "It could be nothing," Commander Volkov cautioned, "or it could be exactly what we're looking for." Okafor made the call to investigate. A small team, led by Dr. Tanaka and Security Chief Santos, took a shuttle to the surface. What they found shocked them all. Hidden in a vast underground complex were the remnants of an alien civilization. Holographic displays flickered to life as they entered, showing images of a species that looked surprisingly similar to humans, but with iridescent skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. "They're all dead," Tanaka said softly, examining the stasis pods that lined the walls. "They've been here for thousands of years at least." As they explored further, they discovered the reason for the civilization's downfall. Recordings spoke of a great cleansing carried out by a race called the Axiom. The Axiom, it seemed, viewed themselves as guardians of the galaxy, eliminating any species that developed faster than light travel without their approval. "That's why they attacked us," Santos realized. "We're not the first." But the discovery wasn't all grim. In the heart of the complex, they found what they had been searching for, another artifact key, similar to the one found in the Kuiper Belt. As Tanaka worked to decipher the new information, alarms suddenly blared throughout the Defiant. Multiple ships dropping out of FTO. The tactical officer shouted, "Configuration matches the hostiles from Alpha Centauri." Okafor's mind raced. They weren't ready for a full-on confrontation, not yet. "Recall the away team immediately," she ordered. "Prepare for emergency jump." But as the shuttle raced back to the Defiant, the alien ships opened fire. The USDF vessels returned fire, their weapons now bolstered by the technology they had reverse-engineered. It wasn't enough. Two of the human ships exploded in brilliant fireballs. The Defiant shuddered under the assault, its shields failing. Just as all seemed lost, something unexpected happened. A new ship suddenly appeared, far larger than even the Axiom vessels. It fired a weapon unlike anything they had seen, cutting through the Axiom ships like they were made of paper. A transmission crackled through on all frequencies. The language was unlike anything in their databases, but the meaning was clear. "Follow us if you want to live." With no other options, Okafor gave the order. The Defiant and the remaining USDF ships fell into formation behind their mysterious savior, jumping to safety just as the last Axiom vessel exploded. They emerged in a star system filled with ships of various designs, a bustling hub of activity hidden from the Axiom's view. On the Defiant's bridge, a hologram flickered to life. The being that appeared was clearly not human tall, with 4 arms and skin that seemed to shift colors as it moved. "Welcome," it said, the words somehow translating in their minds. "I am Valek, leader of the Resistance. We've been waiting a long time for others to join our fight against the Axiom. It seems humanity has finally arrived." As Okafor looked out at the assembled fleet of alien ships, a mix of hope and apprehension filled her. Humanity was no longer alone in its struggle, but the battle ahead would be unlike anything they had ever faced. The resistance against the Axiom's tyranny had begun, and humanity was now at its heart. The galaxy would never be the same. Spreading the revolution. The revelation of a galactic resistance movement against the Axiom changed everything for Admiral Okafor and her crew. Over the next weeks, they learned the true scope of the conflict they had unwittingly entered. Valek, their 4-armed savior, explained the situation. "The Axiom have dominated this galaxy for millennia," he said, his color-shifting skin rippling with emotion. "They believe it is their divine right to control the spread of faster-than-light technology, to guide the evolution of sentient species." The resistance, it turned out, was composed of refugees and rebels from dozens of species, all victims of Axiom oppression. Some, like Valek's people, had been subjugated for generations. Others, like humanity, had only recently developed FTL and drawn the Axiom's ire. Dr. Tanaka worked tirelessly with alien scientists, combining the knowledge from Earth's artifact key with the Resistance's own research. "These keys are more than just databases," she reported excitedly. "They're part of an ancient network, created by a species that preceded even the Axiom. If we can activate enough of them, we might be able to access technology that could turn the tide of this war." Admiral Okafor, seeing an opportunity, proposed a daring plan. "We need to spread the word," she argued in a strategy meeting with Valek and other resistance leaders. "There must be other species out there, unknown to the Axiom, who could join our cause. And we need to find more of these artifact keys. The plan was risky, but the potential rewards were too great to ignore. The Resistance agreed to split their forces, while their main fleet continued hit-and-run tactics against Axiom targets. Smaller teams would venture into unexplored space, seeking allies and artifacts. Okafor took command of one such mission, with the Defiant and 2 alien ships under her command. Their first destination was a cluster of stars on the edge of known space, where long-range scans had detected signs of civilizations that might have escaped Axiom notice. As they approached the first inhabited world, tension ran high. Would they find friends or foes? The answer came swiftly as they were met by a swarm of small, agile ships that surrounded them in a defensive formation. "We come in peace," Okafor broadcast, using the universal translation protocols they had developed. "We seek allies against a common enemy." For tense moments, there was no response. Then, a voice crackled through their comms. "Prove it," it said simply. Okafor made a bold decision. She ordered the Defiant to power down its weapons and lower its shields. "We trust you," she said. "Now trust us." Her gambit paid off. The alien ships escorted them to a hidden base on one of the system's moons. There, they met the Zarin, a species of bird-like humanoids who had been hiding from the Axiom for generations. "We thought we were alone," the Zarin leader, Krax, told them. "We have technology, but we dared not use it to explore beyond our system for fear of drawing attention." As Okafor and her team shared their story and the existence of the Resistance, hope bloomed in the eyes of the Zarin. Here was a chance to finally emerge from hiding, to fight back against the oppressors they had feared for so long. But the Zarin had more to offer than just potential allies. In their centuries of isolation, they had made a discovery, an artifact key, hidden deep within their moon base. "We never knew what it was," Prax explained as Tanaka examined the device, "but we always felt it was important." With this new key, and the Zarin's commitment to join the Resistance, Okafor's mission had exceeded all expectations, but their success had not gone unnoticed. As they prepared to leave the system, alarms blared. A massive Axiom warship dropped out of FTL, its weapons charging. "They must have detected our presence," Volkov said grimly. "We've led them straight to the Zarin." Okafor's mind raced. They couldn't abandon their new allies, but their small fleet was no match for the Axiom warship. Then, an idea struck her. "The artifact key," she said. "Dr. Tanaka, is there any way we can use it as a weapon?" Tanaka's eyes widened. "It's not designed for that, but the energy it emits when activated, if we could amplify it somehow." They worked frantically, reading the artifact key to the Defiant's power systems. As the Axiom ship closed in, Okafor gave the order. "Now." A pulse of energy unlike anything they had seen before erupted from the Defiant. It washed over the Axiom ship, which suddenly went dark, drifting lifelessly in space. In the stunned silence that followed, Okafor turned to her crew. "Send word to the Resistance. We just found a way to fight back." The news spread like wildfire. Across the galaxy, oppressed species heard whispers of hope. Humanity, the newcomers to the galactic stage, had done the impossible. They had found a way to defeat the seemingly invincible Axiom. As Okafor and her team continued their mission, they left behind more than just new allies. They left a spark of revolution, one that would soon ignite into a galaxy-wide inferno. The balance of power was shifting. The Axiom's millennia of dominance were coming to an end, and at the heart of it all was humanity, no longer just fighting for their own survival, but for the freedom of all sentient beings. The galaxy was changing, and the next phase of the war would determine the fate of countless civilizations. The revolution had truly begun, the Galactic Summit. As news of the Resistance's victory spread, the galaxy experienced a seismic shift in power dynamics. More and more species, emboldened by the success against the Axiom, joined the fight. The artifact keys, once shrouded in mystery, became the most sought-after technology in known space. Admiral Okafor, now a legend among both humans and aliens, found herself at the center of a growing storm. The Resistance, once a ragtag group of refugees, had transformed into a formidable alliance. But with this growth came new challenges. "We need unity," Okafor argued in a heated meeting with Resistance leaders. "We have the means to fight the Axiom now, but without coordination, we risk everything." Valek, his skin flickering with concern, agreed. "But how do we unite such diverse species, each with their own agendas and fears?" The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Tanaka, who had been working tirelessly to unlock more secrets from the artifact keys, made a startling discovery. "It's not just a network," she explained, her eyes bright with excitement. "It's an invitation. The ancients who created these keys, they left coordinates. Coordinates to a place they called the Nexus. The implications were staggering. A neutral ground, hidden from the Axiom, where representatives from all species could gather safely. It was exactly what they needed. The decision was made. Envoys were sent to every known civilization, allied or not, inviting them to a galactic summit at the Nexus. Even a message was sent to the Axiom themselves, offering a chance for diplomacy before full-scale war engulfed the galaxy. As the day of the summit approached, tensions ran high. The Defiant, now the flagship of the Resistance fleet, led a massive convoy of ships to the coordinates provided by the artifact keys. What they found left them awestruck. The Nexus was a massive space station, hidden within the swirling gases of a nebula. Its architecture was unlike anything they had ever seen, seamlessly blending organic and technological elements. As representatives from hundreds of species arrived, the scale of what they were attempting became clear. This was perhaps the largest gathering of diverse civilizations in galactic history. The summit opened with Admiral Okafor addressing the assembled delegates. "We stand at a crossroads," she began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. "For too long, the Axiom have decided the fate of entire species. Today, we have a chance to chart a new course for our galaxy." The debates were fierce. Some species, long oppressed by the Axiom, called for immediate, all-out war. Others, fearful of the consequences, argued for caution. Through it all, Okafor and her team worked tirelessly to build consensus. On the third day of the summit, an unexpected arrival threw everything into chaos. A single Axiom ship appeared at the edge of the nebula, requesting permission to dock. The station erupted in panic. Many feared it was a trap, that an Axiom fleet was lying in wait to destroy them all. But Okafor saw an opportunity. "If we turn them away, we prove their point that other species can't be trusted with power," she argued. "We must hear them out." With great trepidation, the Axiom representatives were allowed to enter the Nexus. Their appearance was shocking. They were energy beings, pulsing with light, barely contained within humanoid forms. The lead Axiom, calling itself the voice of eternity, addressed the summit. "For eons, we have guided the evolution of this galaxy," it intoned. "We have seen empires rise and fall, watched as species destroyed themselves with technology they were not ready for. Our methods may seem harsh, but they have ensured stability." Murmurs of anger rippled through the crowd, but Okafor raised her hand for silence. "And what gives you the right to make that decision for all of us?" she challenged. The voice of eternity seemed to flicker uncertainly. "It is our burden, our duty." "No," Okafor interrupted. "It's your choice. A choice you've made for countless others without their consent. Look around you. See the diversity, the potential in this room. Imagine what we could accomplish together, as equals, not as subjects to be guided." For a moment, silence reigned. Then, to everyone's shock, the voice of eternity spoke again, its tone different. Perhaps we have been wrong. For so long, we have seen ourselves as alone in our understanding. But your words, they echo thoughts some among us have long held in secret." It was a pivotal moment. The revelation that even among the Axiom, there were those who questioned their methods, opened up new possibilities. As the summit continued, a framework for a new galactic order began to take shape. The Axion would relinquish their role as self-appointed guardians. A council, with representatives from all species, would be formed to address interstellar matters. The artifact key network would be studied openly, its benefits shared by all. It wasn't a perfect solution. Centuries of mistrust and oppression couldn't be erased overnight, but it was a start. As the summit drew to a close, Admiral Okafor stood once again before the assembled delegates. "Today, we've taken the first step towards a truly united galaxy," she said. "The road ahead will be challenging, but together, we can build a future brighter than any single species could imagine alone." As cheers erupted throughout the Nexus, Okafor allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had come so far from that first, disastrous encounter in Alpha Centauri. They had not only survived, but had helped reshape the very fabric of galactic society. The summit was ending, but a new era was just beginning. An era of cooperation, exploration, and limitless potential. And at its heart was the spirit of humanity, adaptable, resilient, and ever reaching for the stars. Counterattack. In the weeks following the dramatic standoff, Earth buzzed with a mixture of relief, excitement, and apprehension. The immediate threat had been neutralized, but the question on everyone's minds was, what comes next? Admiral Jameson stood before the United Earth Council, his uniform crisp despite the exhaustion evident in his eyes. "Ladies and gentlemen, while we've achieved a significant victory, we can't afford to let our guard down. The Zornax have agreed to negotiations, but we must negotiate from a position of strength." Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now hailed as a hero for her role in the initial dialogue with the Zornax, stepped forward. "Admiral, with all due respect, we have an unprecedented opportunity here. The Zornax have shown willingness to communicate. We should focus on building bridges, not preparing for more conflict." The council chamber erupted into heated debate. Some sided with Jameson, arguing that humanity needed to press its advantage. Others aligned with Rodriguez, seeing a chance for peaceful coexistence. It was Captain Sarah Chen who finally silenced the room. "Why can't we do both?" she proposed. "We continue to strengthen our defenses and expand our understanding of Zornax technology, but we also extend a genuine offer of peace and cultural exchange." Her words struck a chord. The Council voted to adopt a two-pronged approach: diplomatic outreach combined with a comprehensive plan to bolster Earth's defenses and technological capabilities. Meanwhile, light years away on the Zornax homeworld, a similar debate was unfolding. The defeat at Earth had sent shockwaves through their rigid society. Some called for immediate retaliation, while others saw the humans' unpredictability as a potential asset rather than a threat. Back on Earth, Project Prometheus was expanded. Dr. Yuki Tanaka led a team of the brightest minds from across the globe, working to unlock the secrets of the technology that had turned the tide of the war. The Prometheus device didn't just disable their ships. Tanaka explained to a rapt audience of scientists and military personnel. "It gave us a window into how their technology works. If we can fully understand and replicate it, we could leap centuries ahead in our own development." As research progressed, humanity began to flex its newfound technological muscles. A fleet of advanced ships, incorporating both human ingenuity and reverse-engineered Zornax tech, was constructed in orbit. These vessels were faster, more powerful, and more adaptable than anything humanity had previously fielded. Admiral Jameson stood on the bridge of the new flagship, the UES Phoenix, marveling at the holographic displays and intuitive controls. To think, just months ago we were fighting for our very survival. Now look at us. But not everyone was content with defense and diplomacy. A faction within the military, led by the hawkish General Marcus Blackwood, pushed for a more aggressive stance. "We have the advantage now," Blackwood argued in closed-door meetings. "We should strike at the heart of the Zornax Empire before they can regroup." Despite resistance from more moderate voices, Blackwood's influence grew. In secret, he began assembling a task force, preparing for what he saw as an inevitable confrontation. As tensions simmered, the diplomatic efforts continued. Dr. Rodriguez led a team of linguists, anthropologists, and diplomats in a series of meetings with Zornak's representatives. Progress was slow but steady, with both sides beginning to grasp the fundamental differences in their worldviews. They see our chaos as a threat, Rodriguez reported to the council, but they're starting to understand that it's also the source of our strength. In turn, we're learning the value of their ordered approach to galactic stewardship. But just as it seemed peaceful coexistence might be possible, disaster struck. A human colony on the outer edges of the solar system went dark. Initial reports suggested a Zornak's attack, though the evidence was inconclusive. General Blackwood seized on the incident, rallying support for immediate retaliation. Before the full council could convene to discuss the situation, he launched his secret task force, aiming straight for the heart of Zornak's space. This is General Marcus Blackwood of the United Earth Defense Force. He broadcast as his ships entered Zornak's territory. Your unprovoked attack on our colony will not go unanswered. Surrender immediately or face the consequences. The news of Blackwood's unauthorized mission sent shockwaves through Earth's leadership. Admiral Jameson was immediately ordered to intercept the rogue fleet, but it was clear they wouldn't reach them before they engaged the Zornaks. As Blackwood's ships approached the Zornaks' homeworld, they were met not with the expected military response, but with a startling sight. The planet was surrounded by a massive energy field, similar to the shields Earth had tried to employ during the initial invasion. Sir, Blackwood's second-in-command reported, we're detecting massive energy readings. It looks like they've adapted our Prometheus technology. Blackwood's face paled as he realized the gravity of his mistake. The Zornaks hadn't been idle in the months since their defeat at Earth. They had studied the Prometheus device and improved upon it, creating a planetary defense system that made their homeworld virtually impregnable. As Blackwood's fleet hung in space, outmatched and out of options, a transmission came through. The face of the Zornaks leader they had encountered during the Earth battle appeared on screen. Humans, it said, its multiple eyes focusing intently, we had hoped for peace, for understanding. Yet you bring war to our doorstep. Perhaps we were right to fear your chaos after all. With those ominous words, the transmission cut off. Blackwood's fleet found itself surrounded by a Zornak's armada that had seemingly materialized out of nowhere, their ships cloaked by technology even more advanced than what they'd used in the Earth invasion. As the human ships were quickly disabled and captured, the consequences of Blackwood's rash action became clear. The fragile peace that had been building was now in jeopardy, and humanity once again faced the prospect of a war they might not be able to win. Back on Earth, as news of the failed attack reached them, Admiral Jameson, Dr. Rodriguez, and the rest of the leadership faced a grim reality. They had mere hours to find a way to prevent full-scale war, or everything they had fought for would be lost. The fate of two civilizations now hung in the balance, with the actions of a few threatening to undo all the progress that had been made. As they scrambled to find a solution, one thing was clear. The true test of humanity's ingenuity in diplomacy was only just beginning. Resolution and reflection. The mood in the United Earth Council chamber was somber as the gravity of General Blackwood's unauthorized attack sank in. The fragile peace they had worked so hard to build was teetering on the brink of collapse. Admiral Jameson paced the floor, his face etched with worry. We need to act fast. If we don't find a way to de-escalate this situation, we'll be facing a war far worse than the first. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, her usual composure shaken, spoke up. We need to open a direct channel to the Zornak's leadership. It's our only chance to explain that Blackwood's actions don't represent Earth's intentions. As they debated their next move, an urgent message came through. It was from Captain Sarah Chen, who had been leading a diplomatic mission near Zornak's space when Blackwood's attack occurred. Admiral, Council members, Chen's holographic image flickered to life, her expression grim but determined. I've made contact with a moderate faction within the Zornax government. They're as alarmed by this escalation as we are. They've agreed to a secret meeting, but we have to act now. The Council quickly authorized Chen's mission. As her ship, the Horizon, made its way to the rendezvous point, Earth's leadership held its breath. Meanwhile, on the Zornax homeworld, the captured human fleet was being held in a high-security orbital facility. General Blackwood, stripped of his rank and confined to a cell, was forced to watch as his rash actions threatened to undo everything humanity had achieved. In a secure chamber deep within the Zornax capital, Captain Chen found herself face-to-face with a group of alien leaders. The atmosphere was tense, the aliens' multiple eyes fixed on her with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. "We trusted your kind," one of the Zornax began, its voice resonating in Chen's mind. "We began to see value in your chaos, and this is how you repay that trust." Chen took a deep breath, knowing the fate of two civilizations rested on her words. The attack was not sanctioned by our government. It was the act of a rogue element, one that will be held accountable. "We came to you in good faith, seeking to build on the understanding we've developed." She paused, then continued with passion. "Our unpredictability, our chaos as you call it, cuts both ways. It can lead to rash actions like this attack, yes, but it's also what allowed us to extend the hand of friendship after our first conflict, to see the possibility of peace where others might only see enemies." As Chen spoke, Dr. Yuki Tanaka was making a breakthrough back on Earth. Analyzing data from the Zornax homeworld's defenses, she realized something startling. They didn't just copy our Prometheus device, she exclaimed to her team. They improved it, yes, but they also incorporated elements of their own technology. It's a fusion of both our approaches. This revelation was quickly relayed to Chen, who saw an opportunity. "Your adaptation of our technology proves that our two species can learn from each other, grow together," she told the Zornax leaders. "Imagine what we could achieve if we collaborated instead of fought." Her words seemed to resonate with the aliens. After hours of tense negotiation, a tentative agreement was reached. The captured human fleet would be released, and in exchange, Earth would share the full details of the original Prometheus device. Both sides would commit to a program of mutual technological and cultural exchange. As news of the agreement reached Earth, a collective sigh of relief swept across the planet. The threat of war had been averted, but more importantly, a new chapter in intergalactic relations was beginning. In the months that followed, the face of human civilization changed dramatically. Zornax representatives arrived on Earth, their presence a constant reminder of the broader galaxy humanity now inhabited. Human scientists and diplomats, in turn, traveled to Zornax worlds, each exchange bringing new insights and innovations. Admiral Jameson, overseeing the integration of Zornax technology into Earth's defense systems, marveled at the progress. "A year ago, we were fighting for our very existence. Now we're building a future together." Dr. Rodriguez, leading efforts to create a comprehensive Zornax human dictionary, found herself constantly amazed by the depths of alien philosophy and culture. "Every day brings new understanding," she noted in her journal. "Our differences, once a source of conflict, are now our greatest strength." Even General Blackwood, serving a life sentence for his actions, contributed to the new era. His tactical knowledge, combined with insights into Zornax psychology gained during his captivity, proved invaluable in creating protocols to prevent future misunderstandings. As Earth celebrated the first anniversary of the peace accord, Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a joint human Zornax outpost orbiting Jupiter. Beside her stood Zax Leary, her Zornax counterpart in managing the station. "A year ago, I never would have imagined this," Chen mused, gazing out at the stars. "We came so close to destroying each other, and now look at us." Zax Leary's multiple eyes blinked in what Chen had come to recognize as amusement. "Your chaos still unsettles us at times," the alien admitted, "but we're learning to see it as you do, a source of creativity and growth." As they watched, a fleet of ships appeared on the horizon, a joint human-Zornax expedition heading out to explore the unknown reaches of the galaxy. It was a powerful symbol of how far they had come, and a promise of the adventures that lay ahead. The battle for Earth had ended, but the true victory was not in defeating an enemy. It was in forging an unlikely alliance, in finding strength in diversity, and in daring to imagine a future where the stars were not a battlefield, but a shared frontier of discovery. As humanity looked to the future, they carried with them the lessons of their trial by fire, that their greatest strength lay not in weapons or technology, but in their capacity for adaptation, their willingness to understand, and their indomitable spirit of exploration. The story of humanity's first contact with the Zornax would be told for generations to come, a testament to the power of perseverance, diplomacy, and the unexpected paths that chaos can carve through the cosmos. As Earth and its new allies turned their gaze to the vast, unexplored reaches of space, one thing was certain: the greatest adventures were yet to come.